Hey everybody, I just wanted to make hopefully a quick little video here showing you how to upload your React projects to EOS or to Google Cloud. Um, I probably, I assumed that it would be a pretty straightforward process. I didn't realize that not everybody knows what EOS is, and there's also some things I noticed in some of the homework assignments that I wanted to kind of address as well. So the first bit I noticed, and just to kind of get this out first, a lot of the recent assignments have been noticing people still using virtual hosts and things like that. And if that's a leftover from before, that's fine. But the only time we really needed virtual hosts was that first assignment where we had virtual hosts. Everything else we can just use folders. Um, so for instance, I've got a Google Cloud instance up and running here. So this is just kind of a, straightforward thing. This is something I'll show you in a moment, but here I've got a folder for spa demo. I could make a folder for homework 1, homework 2, homework 3. I don't need to worry about the virtual hosting thing anymore. Just put your assignments in subfolders, and you don't have to worry about reconfiguring your server. If it was implied that you needed a different virtual host for every assignment, my apologies, that was not the intent. That is way more complicated than it needs to be. Again, I didn't really know there was an issue until I started seeing people putting port numbers in their assignments. So if you were struggling with that, again, I'm sorry about that bit. Just, for instance, in your, let me make this touch bigger, medium. They updated the Google Cloud thing here. Yeah, it's a little better, I guess. Um, but like just sudo mkdir homework 5 and put all your homework files in there. Sudo touch homework 5 index.html. And then I could just go to homework 5 and there'd be a web page here. I didn't put any text in it, but that's all you would have to submit. No virtual hosting needed. Okay, so that was one thing. The second thing is now that we're moving to React, we are doing a lot more kind of local building, and I kind of stressed, hopefully, in the write-up and the demos and all that, to get React running on your computers, do all your building there, and then push the built files elsewhere. That is intended to make your life a lot easier because with Google Cloud, we have all of these issues with, for instance, if you recall Rails, how heavy some of those machines had to be to run it. It's the exact same with React. You need a bigger, beefier machine, and it takes a lot more time, and it's a lot more annoying, to me at least. So I build things locally on my computer, and then I will push it to Google Cloud or to EOS. And I was getting comments, what is EOS? And I'm realizing that not everybody knows what resources we have here. So I'm going to show you really briefly here the Linux labs that we have. So I'm going to pop open this terminal here, and then I'm going to go to our web page for our school. It always takes a while to load for some reason, not quite sure why. But in our computing labs section, we have resources for remotely accessing our various labs. And remote access, if you've never done this before, but the one that we care about is this web space. So if you create a public HTML directory in your account, set the appropriate permissions, you have a free web server. For instance, if I were to go to CIS/Federer, this is going to automatically redirect. I've showed you this before. But if I go to, say, demos, here is a list of demos on my school web space. And this is just one that I did probably a couple years ago playing with simplex noise. But the idea is that, okay, you log in remotely, and I'll show you in a second here. Create a public underscore HTML folder, set some permissions like they state here in the guide, and then you have access to that pretty much immediately. And all you need to do is either write your code directly there, your raw HTML, PHP, stuff like that there, or upload it with a program like SFTP, WinSCP, MOBA Xterm, which is one that I'll show you. Basically, just take your files and put it on the server, just a straight up upload. And it should be a little bit easier. And because we're reusing React now, without a whole lot of backend stuff, when we get to Rails, that might change, obviously. But all you need is static hosting. This server is fine. Honestly, any server is fine. And I know some of you said you wanted to use like Netlify or Heroku or something like that. If you're comfortable with those, that's fine too. Just send me the appropriate link. So I went to the cislab.hpc.gvsu.edu and I got a bunch of extra stuff after I navigated. This is a browser-based connection if you want to remote in. I can go to, say, the SSH, log in with my GVSU credentials. This is just your single sign-on for your email and all that fun stuff, basically logging in anywhere. And then I don't need a VPN client to log in. If I do an ls, I see that public HTML folder. Now, if you've never done this before, you have to create it and then set the permissions. I already did that, so I don't need to do it here. But inside of that public HTML folder are all of my folders for various things. And again, these are all things that I've either written or put up there. You see the spa demo here. This is what we'll be playing with momentarily. But easy to use free web space, accessible via this, where'd it go? CIS658.edu/tilde, your username. Okay. So I'm not going to use this particular connection because I can't easily FTP things up. But if I were to use a program, let me close all these out so that I can start from scratch here, like MOBA Xterm, it has uploading capabilities built right into it. Whereas a program like Putty, it's just SSH, it's just terminal talking. A program like this will let you upload things, and WinSCP is another one for Windows. Now you could do this all in the command line with the SFTP command or SCP command. Whatever is going to work for you. You just want the ability to upload things to a remote server. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create a new session. I've got some bookmarked here, but I want a SFTP session. I'm going to put in the server arch01.cis.gvsu.edu, and this is all in that guide as well for remotely accessing it. But I'm going to connect. It's going to ask me for my credentials. Again, it's the same password as before. Now, these files here are on my computer. What's going to pop up here is on the server. And here we see my public HTML. And we see everything that I just showed you in the SSH terminal. Now, basically what I want to do is take stuff from my computer, upload it to the remote server. That should be all we need to do. Now, I have this spa demo here, so we're working on the single page application stuff this week. There is one little gotcha with React that we're going to run into here, and we saw this with React before with that homepage designator, if you recall. In package.json, we had to set homepages.slash. To get things referenced locally for components, we have to do a little bit extra with React Router. So I've got the spa demo here. I'm going to just delete everything so that I have, a basic page. And if I go to my, so this is the equivalent folder, I'm going to see that there's nothing in there. Now, if I were to drop this in verbatim, things would not really work with React Router, or a basic React application would be fine. Actually, let's do that right quickly. I'll show you that. So if I go into, I've got my joke of the day app ready to go, npm run build. So this will take a moment. There's no routing here, so there shouldn't be an issue. Famous last words. I wasn't planning on doing this demo, that's why I'm tentative here. But as long as I have relative pathing set up, this should just work fine. Now, while this is building, let me speak to the React Router thing. When we are setting up links and client-side routing, it's very particular with how the pattern matching on the URL bar is. So when we click slash or the home, it goes to the slash route. If we go to the about, it goes to the slash about route. When we are doing that on the root of whatever server we're running on, that's fine. When we start adding subfolders, that gets really annoying. And what's even more annoying, which is probably going to impact some of you at some point, is that React Router has undergone a major revision recently. We're now at React Router 6. This means that a lot of things under the hood have changed, API-wise have changed, and Routing is one of them. And we're going to run into a little gotcha, which if any of you know exactly how to fix this, I would love for you to tell me because I can't figure it out. It should be easy, and it doesn't work. And I don't know why this is taking so long here. But basically, it's the 404 page is just not going to work. Everything else will be fine. Come on, finish up here, please. Always when I'm doing a demo. Okay, I'll be back in a second once this is done, I guess. Okay, back. So it's done. Literally right after I said it, it decided to finish. So in my build directory, I want to put all those files up here. Okay, so I'm going to go to my C temp. So this is where I put mine. Your mileage may vary, obviously. Joke of the day, build, and then all of these files I want to just drag over here. Again, MOBA Xterm makes this easy. Use whatever tool you're happy with. Now, if I were to refresh this page, I should see my Joke of the Day app pop up. I should see my Joke of the Day app pop up. Did I forget the homepage bit? I forgot the homepage bit. I made all that. Okay, let's fix this really quickly. I updated the wrong one. So, different app, package.json, homepage, /. Okay, rebuild. I updated the homepage for the demo I'm trying to show you eventually here. Forgot on the one that I'm actually, stealth adding in. So this is fun. You all get to see probably the headaches you'll be going through, so now you can see it with me. But to the other point, basically the subdirectories thing is going to be problematic with React Router. And yeah, if one of you can figure that out and let me know, I would love it. So the kind of weird area that I've been going into to try and figure this out, I closed the page, but basically I was going through the documentation for React Router, trying to find it, getting references in GitHub issues and pull requests to, hey, this doesn't work, somebody please fix it. Oh, you can do this. Oh, but that doesn't work. And it's like this weird chain of how is this being overlooked? It's either something really simple or it's a bug in React Router, which I'm not sure of. Okay, so I'm just going to redrag these back over here now that it's done building. And we're going to refresh this page. Here's my joke of the day. Looks fine. Basically, I just dragged and dropped the build files. Okay, this was the joke of the day one. Let's get rid of all of that, and I want to show you the React routing bit. Okay, so that all goes away. I refresh. This is gone because I deleted it. Now, in my, let's see, I want to go into spa demo. So I already ran npm run build. So if we look in build, we see our stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead, go into spa demo and build. Now I'm going to drag these over because again, this is just the build directory. Okay, refresh. Now nothing works. And I don't get any errors either. This is where things start going a little bit wonky. So in my, so package.json is fine. App.js is relatively okay. In index.js, I need to add in, and this is where things get a little hazy between 5 and 6. We need to add in a base name for our React routing, and that's basically what is the start of the subdirectories that our application is looking at. Now, I've got here spa demo. It's not working for a very specific reason. When I uploaded this to my Google Cloud instance, I made my subdirectory var slash, that's fine, var slash www slash html slash spa demo. So the root of my web directory is var www html. Spa demo is then my subdirectory for this particular environment. And if we go here, spa demo, this is the build that I pushed up to Google Cloud. Basically, I just zipped up the build directory, uploaded it like we have been so far, moved it and unzipped it, and that's all I did. So again, this works just fine. Here, my root is this spa demo. All right. If I try doing this on CIS's servers, my root is slash tilde my username slash spa demo. So I need to update this to be slash tilde or Federer slash spa demo. Your username would be in there. And now I'm telling React, this is the root. Okay. So let me npm run build. Now this is the issue and the sticking point, and I hope I don't confuse any of you. This should not impact your homework assignments, but it's the little bit of extra that's kind of irking me because I can't tell you how to fix it. This should not work in React 6. Base name was removed from browser router. It was moved into this routes tag, which we'll be doing with our spa demos. And I should have base name equals Federer slash spa demo in here. I can't get that to work as it's described in their documentation. Also, the 404 page is broken now. So let me show you. So this was rebuilt. We're going to drag this over again to re-upload. Okay. Now I'm going to refresh this page, and hey, it works. I fixed my links. Okay. So about, contact, scroll. So these are all, things that we're working on this week. And that's all here. If I did not have this base name in my index.js, it would try to route me to /CIS gvsu.edu, and that's it. It would kill the rest of my URL. The irksome part is if I put in some random garbage, I just get a not found error. My custom 404 page is being ignored. And no matter what I do, so I still have this here. So asterisk, I've tried the direct path. I've tried every single possible way I can think of to get a wild card getting caught in here, and it's not working. So if any of you know how this works because you're better at React than I am, please let me know and I will make an addendum video. But basically, once you are building locally and you are using React Router, make sure that you add in this base name to whatever your subdirectory is. Okay? And if you're doing it on Google Cloud, it's the base directory starting at that /var/www/html. Then your first subfolder is the start of that. If you're on EOS, you have to add on your username with the tilde as well. So hopefully that is helpful, and my mild mental breakdown for not being able to get this like 100% working is not coming through too much. But this is supposed to be easier than just doing it straight on Google Cloud. React is, it's React. It's fun. Anyway, if you have questions, please feel free to follow up. I'm more than happy to help you with some of these things. So see you all next time, everybody.